This is Jackie, and I'm here with your All Access interview with two of the lovely ladies of Lucius. Say that one 5 times fast. It's not that easy. We're at day one of Maryland's Sweet Life Festival. We're enjoying a little bit of shade, which is hard to come by here. How do you manage to leave a lasting impression with fans when you play a festival with so many different bands on the roster?
It's a good question. We just try and bring our best and have as much energy as possible and hope that they're sort of working off of that, feeling it.
Yeah, totally agreed. That's the easiest answer there is, right? Your album, Wild Woman, has been out since 2013. I have more than a slight feeling that a lot of fans out there are wondering when they can expect new music. Can you tease them a little bit?
I don't even know the exact date yet, but we're in the studio right now, and we were writing at the beginning of the year, and it's going very well. We're really excited for what's to come. It's a little darker, more mature, and we're excited. We're going to play a new song today too.
Excellent. So music is in the process. I know that'll make lots of people very excited. Describe the songwriting process for you guys right now.
Well, we had gotten off a really intense tour schedule, and we hadn't had any time on the road really to write, but we had been gathering a lot of, absorbing a lot of information, a lot of feelings, and we had a bunch of lyrics and voice memos and things kind of floating around. So when we finally got off tour, we were able to get together, decompress, and kind of purge all these ideas and write for a couple months before getting in the studio. So I don't know, we haven't had a particular formula. It's been sort of an experiment so far, and it's going well. So,
excellent. I know it's always hard for bands that tour a lot to find the time to write. Do you put the time aside? Is it something that always happens? So it's definitely not easy. But also, that Wild Woman is out on vinyl, and that's sort of a thing that a lot of bands are doing. Mm-hmm. But some bands, and I scratch my head because I can't figure it out, also put music out on cassette tape. Mm-hmm. Have you tried that before? Have you heard a newer album on cassette tape? What does it sound like now?
Where do you even play a cassette tape anymore?
That was my next question. I see that some bands do it, and I'm like, where am I going to play this?
Yeah, somebody wants to lend me their old Volvo, then maybe. I mean, I used to love cassette tapes. That's what I used to buy as a kid, but it's just not practical anymore. We've thought about it at points in our musical lives, but not recently.
Yeah, I
love vinyls, though.
I've definitely scoured many a thrift store just trying to find a cassette player to play the 5 cassette tapes I've managed to scrounge up just in my possession, and I can't find anything. It's not very easy. I mean, it's much easier to find a record player than it is to find a cassette player. I just stick to vinyl, kids. Trust me. It's much easier. You guys have a great video out right now for Hey Doreen. Why put out a music video in 2015 when there isn't a channel really dedicated anymore, MTV, to playing them?
MTV2 is now no videos either there, right? Is MTV3 coming or?
Well, there is an MTV3, but there's an MTV Hits that actually plays if you have a better cable setup that I actually watched music videos, and I was like, wow, I'm back to my roots. As a child of the 80s, I got really way too excited to actually see a music video.
Does anybody watch TV anymore? I don't know about that.
Right?
Yeah, I don't know. It has to be just a part of the sort of collection of work that you're putting out there, and if it makes sense and it's something that connects artistically and visually, and for us, our group is such a visual band, it's really important for us to have stems of that off of the music. So I think it makes sense for a band like us, and it doesn't make sense for everyone.
Well said, because I agree, you guys are a very visual band. It's a great audio-visual experience, especially live, hint, hint, that, not everyone can carry off. Sometimes bands use music videos as a boost on social media. Mm-hmm. How else do you use social media to keep in touch with fans?
I mean, everybody's got even though there isn't a going back to the music video thing, a channel that's necessarily presenting these videos now. It's because everyone's got a screen in front of their face all the time. Everything is like so available, and so you are dependent upon people sharing things and sharing shows and sharing videos and content and all this stuff. So it's good. It's kind of like a free-for-all for your fans to interact with each other, and they end up doing a lot of the footwork, and it works out really well. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah.
I feel, I feel like social media. If you don't have that social media component in 2015,
I mean,
where do you?
You have to stay connected, but it's also, I think, because, like Holly was saying, it's so oversaturated. It's really all you can do is just be yourself and hope that people respond to it, and not make it what is you. You know, it's just another extension of ways for people to keep in touch, to see what you're doing, have fun with it. We're very playful and goofy on Instagram and Twitter and stuff. So just not to take it so seriously. You know, I just, if your career is reliant on your social media accounts, there's something, I don't know. It's just not what we're looking for. But, you know, if it's a way to keep in touch with people, we love that. We love our fans, so.
I think there's like a fine line between sharing every meal that you eat and showing that you have a personality.
Yeah.
We don't need to know like every single meal.
Yeah.
But I would much rather see a band being goofy or being themselves off stage than a little too much oversharing. Little too much. You guys have it has nothing to do with sharing, although it sort of does on a much bigger platform. You guys played on Conan. How do you prepare for that sort of performance, and is it different from preparing for a live performance on a bigger stage like this?
You don't prepare. You just go and you do it, and you don't think about it too much, because if you think about it too much, then you panic. You know, we're not used to like the cameras and stuff like that, so too much thought going into that is just going to spoil the experience, and what we really want is just to showcase a good song and hope that people connect from their homes, you know? So, yeah.
I think that's really good advice, is to not think about it at all.
Yeah. I pretty much blacked out during that, because I think my brain was like saving myself from the anxiety. And in a live performance, it's in real time. You're throwing it out there and it's gone. Like, it feels like it's, but when you're doing something like that, you're like, this is going to live forever, and like everyone's watching and everyone can hear it, and I don't know, there's all these factors that are so overwhelming to think about. It's just like, all right, let's just do it. And then it was over in like a couple moments, and then it was great. Afterwards I was like, okay, what happened?
You take a big sigh and then you try to recall.
But then luckily I got to watch it later because it was recorded and remember it that way. But yeah.
So that's a good benefit. So what's up next for you guys after Sweet Life Festival?
We're doing a bunch of touring this summer, kind of off and on, festivals and some touring with My Morning Jacket and the Decemberists, which we're really excited about, and finishing the record. Yeah.
So stay tuned for a lot more from Lucius. This is Jackie. Thanks to All Access and In the Key of Change.